Hello and welcome back to Recap Stories. Today we're looking at the action horror and just all around craziness that is Versus. I hope you enjoy the video, and as always, spoilers ahead. There are 666 portals that connect this world to the other that are all concealed to humans, but there are some that know of their existence and are willing to open the door to darkness. Somewhere in Japan exists portal 444, known simply as the Forest of Resurrection. In the past, a great evil discovered this door. A Japanese man is surrounded by the undead. He hacks and slashes away at these monsters. He's laid them all back to rest. We see a figure behind him. He charges with his sword but is cut down. Present day, and we meet a couple prisoners fleeing through the woods. They're waiting for someone, with one of them being rather impatient. A motorcycle and car pull up. Members of the Yakuza emerge from the car. They're waiting for another car. One of the prisoners says it isn't safe here. The younger prisoner runs his mouth and one of the Yakuza doesn't like that. They bring out a woman and the younger prisoner appears to be drawn to her. The men were ordered to kidnap her and bring her here. He tells the men to let her go, or they'll pay later. He swings one of the men around and shoots one of the Yakuza. There's a standoff between all the men. The dead man then rises and attacks. They all open fire upon him and he finally goes down. The other prisoner is shot and killed. He rises and they put him back down as well. The young man takes the woman and they run into the woods while the Yakuza are shooting. The man and woman are in the forest. She thanks him for saving her, but he said he only did it because those guys were pissing him off. The Yakuza are in the forest looking for the man. The man and woman come across some bodies tied to trees. The woman has a vision but snaps too. Our prisoner throws on the clothes from the bodies, looking 90s badass. One of the Yakuza has his gun on the man. We've got a standoff. He takes the man down with a kick and we get some hand-to-hand action. The other Yakuza are looking for them and one has a bad feeling. He says the dead come to life in this forest and they've buried so many here. They find a bunch of open graves. The other two are still fighting until they hear gunshots and the Yakuza heads off to find his crew. They're surrounded by the undead who also have and know how to use guns. More undead rise from their graves surrounding the men. One of the Yakuza seems to be enjoying this too much. The prisoner arrives and is wrecking these zombies. We've got a one-on-one with the prisoner and one of the Yakuza. The prisoner heads back after the girl. The Yakuza turn on one of their own and kill him. We meet two men looking for the prisoner, with one having lost his hand. Some more Yakuza pull up to the party. We're back with the prisoner and woman and she asks why he was in prison. He can't seem to remember anything. The leader of the Yakuza arrives and asks where everyone is. He gets ambushed and killed by his own men. Rising back up, he claps as if nothing had happened. He says good job but not good enough, systematically taking them out one by one. One of the Yakuza asks who he is and he says you'll need an army to kill me. The leader drives his hand through his chest. The woman sees him and has a flashback. She says we have to go now. The leader rips out the heart of one of his men and asks if it hurts. He asks one of his would-be killers if she wants eternal life. She says yes and he bites her neck. The two men looking for the prisoner stop a car and they shoot the driver because he calls them officer and apparently he doesn't like that. One of the other men pulls out a huge 50 cal rifle. The prisoner tells the woman to cut the crap. He wants to know what's going on. She says it's his destiny. They're destined to fight each other. Apparently these things can fly now as well. The prisoner and now undead Yakuza get into some martial arts action. The zombie stops at the sight of the woman, giving him an opening to kill it. He throws on some shades, giving him +5 to cool. The woman doesn't like them though, so he takes them back off. She asks him if he remembers her and he says they've never met. The leader arrives, telling the man to come with him. He'll grant him power. They're teleported to another area of the forest. He tells the prisoner there's a great power in this forest, but you need 2 keys to open it. He found them long ago and wants to show him. The power of the woman's blood will open the door. Prisoner is shot and falls off a cliff, down to the forest floor. The leader sends his undead minions after the girl. It's night and the prisoner awakes. He screams, raising his hand in the air, and a sword appears in it. The leader tells her he couldn't save her last time, and he won't this time either. He offers the forest her blood in exchange for the gate to be opened. He asks why nothing is happening. The woman tells him her blood of resurrection won't work as she already used it. She asks if he can wait until she reincarnates again in 500 years. He laughs and reveals her blood wasn't enough. He needs the resurrected blood from the prisoner. She fell for his trap. The prisoner arrives, telling him he talks too much. He tells her to wait for him as he has to deal with the undead Yakuza. The two men from earlier arrive and the little Yakuza manages to steal their 50 caliber. We see the leader as he assembles his sword. The prisoner is fighting one of the undead and this has some of the strangest action you'll ever see. The little guy arrives and the prisoner gets the 50 cal from him, using it to blow apart the zombie. He comes across the two men and does the same to them as well. Can't seem to hit the leader though. A stare down between both men as they circle one another. Some inventive sword play as they both get the best of one another. The leader tells him no matter how much you try, you can't win. The darkness has chosen me. He raises his sword above his head and is about to finish off the prisoner, but the prisoner catches the blade between his hands. He spin kicks the leader into a tree and now has both swords. Throwing throwing one, just nearly hitting the leader. The men fight with the prisoner's newfound power. He cuts the throat of the leader and kicks his head straight off. The prisoner and woman head off. Climbing on the motorcycle from earlier, she tells him he was resurrected by the forest and her blood. If he leaves, he may die. He says maybe, but that's fine. He doesn't want to stay locked up in one place. They drive off and we see a bright flash. 99 years later and the world is in complete ruin. We see a cloaked figure with a sword. The leader has returned and the prisoner now has the undead as his own. The woman says, I should have been on your side, and gets hit for it. The prisoner says there's nothing left in the world to destroy, so take me to the other side, brother. They charge one another and the film ends. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of any new uploads. Thank you for watching, and as always, do take care.